We are live. Welcome everybody. Rajiv ji is with us. Today we didn't match our clothes
Yeah,
because there was miscommunication. But we do this every Saturday, 9 a.m. Not California, New York time, 6 a.m. California time. I'm yet to have my first sip of coffee, so forgive me if I'm not yet fully awake. And Rajiv ji is our immigration.
I usually wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean,
Wow.
I usually go outside by 4, and but because of all the snow and ice, so I have to go to the gym. I hate going to the gym; it's not as much fun. But
Yeah.
so by the time you guys wake up, it's my afternoon.
Yes, I know, I know, I know. I was texting you yesterday at like 7 p.m. and you're like, Rajiv ji's silenced the notification. I was
Yeah,
like, he must be
I
asleep.
start taking calls.
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. So today we are going to talk about something interesting, which is national interest waiver and green card 101 kind of thing. So
Yeah,
Rajuji has kindly written the article. I'm going to share that,
yeah,
and but Raju, I'll let you go, and then we'll do the Q&A part
yeah.
if we
So
have
I'm
time.
not going to spend a lot of time because it's already written out. It's very easy to read. It was not written for lawyers. It was written for our community, our people. Um, what is national interest waiver? Uh, so basically, national interest waiver is a part of EB2, employment based category 2. So it's not faster than regular national. This is on Economic Times. It's not faster than your regular green card process, but it has many advantages, especially for people who are already here. And for people who are outside, if they were born in a country other than India, or if their spouse is born in a country other than India, they should look at this option very seriously. Why do I like it so much? Well, first of all, it doesn't require an employer. Okay.
Hmm.
And the areas it covers. So if you scroll down a little bit, Yudi, so it should say, no, no, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up just a little bit. Just, no, no, no. Yudi, you are being a very
Oh,
bad
up,
driver. Up,
up.
up is this way. Okay. So
But this is it.
yeah, but I want to talk about something in the. Uh, it says
Hmm.
your if you look at the last lines that you see, they must demonstrate that their work will be in the future in the national interest of the United States, and it can benefit the U.S. in many different ways: economy, education, culture, healthcare, environment, business, economy, science, design. I mean, so many different things. So, for
Hmm.
example, we have done, and I gave some examples from our own files. We have done national interest waivers for college professors who were teaching, for example, design thinking. And my argument was if you are teaching design thinking to 800 students who are from all 50 states in the country, they are all going to go become engineers and designers. You are helping the country. Okay, that's another example. Then there was a PhD holding scientist with a contract to work with an Ivy League university. She was working on immunity related cases. And this was during COVID time, so we very easily got that waiver. Um, then there was an industrial engineer who had a unique invention, and there were plenty of people in the United States interested in that. Then there was a biotech engineer working on a wearable device which measures body hydration levels, which is very important for diabetics. Okay,
Hmm.
a dance teacher. Okay, so somebody who was teaching, um, you know, traditional dance. So the point is that this is a category that's wide open. Okay,
Hmm.
it has certain restrictions. You've got to be focused on it, um, but it's a category that's wide open to many people in the United States. You may not even know it. Okay.
Hmm.
So, for example, one of the main concerns, we start by saying, do you have a master's degree? Yes. If not, do you have a bachelor's plus 5 years? That also works. If not, are you otherwise exceptionally qualified? And I'll write the next article and explain the requirements in the next article. because I told Economic Times I'll probably do 3 articles on just national interest waiver, and then I'll start on EB1As. I'm trying to condense a lot of what you need to know into one article.
Hmm.
So once you know, okay, I've got bachelor's plus 5, or I've got a master's degree, or I am exceptionally qualified. That's one thing. Now the next thing is, we don't care whether you have a job or not. You don't need a job in the US. Okay.
Hmm.
But what are you going to what are you going to do when you come to the US? What are you going to do which is in national interest? National means non-local. So
Hmm.
if I start working for UD and I help UD's company, how does that help the country?
Hmm.
Okay. But what if UD's company had branches in all 50 cities? And what I'm going to do is, and hopefully all 50 states one day soon, UD. And I
Yes.
have an idea that helps create a lot of jobs.
Hmm.
Now it becomes non-local. It's not something that's impacting only one city or one company. Or how about if you have some projects in partnerships with the Federal Aviation Administration, and
Yeah.
you're doing some radical new system design for them? When you have the federal government, getting NIW becomes much easier.
Hmm. Hmm.
So non-local impact and your future project, these are important things. We have to prove that there is interest in the US in your work. That interest can be proven if you already have a job. So
Hmm.
obviously there's interest because you have a job, but a job
Yeah.
is not required.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my friend, he worked for Microsoft, and but in the Teams, like Microsoft Teams department. And so yeah, so the way they made his case was like he was working in encryption, but like the messages end to end
Yeah,
encryption. So
the encryption in transit.
yeah, so and obviously the entire federal government is a Microsoft shop. So they're like, we help protect the messages so that way nobody can like, get
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it and read.
absolutely. There is always an angle. And
Mm,
then I talked in this article that
mm,
why is it very important for people who are already here?
mm,
Okay. So if I don't remember everything, forgive me, but one of the things is you are not tied to an employer. Okay. So once you get your NIW, you can be working for any employer, or you can even go back to, somebody asked me, if I go back to India, would my NIW dissolve? I said, no, it never dissolves. It's yours forever. As long as you have
mm,
that project in mind, are you going to do something like that? You can even come back 20 years later
mm,
when your priority date becomes current. Second, you have the right to keep extending your H1B with any employer forever, okay, until your dates become current. Your wife or your husband gets work authorization.
mm,
Okay, I'm sure I'm missing something. Oh, yeah, you also get a priority date, which then what I do is one day you become qualified for EB1A and we have a shot at it. I do an EB1A and I transfer the priority date from the EB2 to the EB1. Now all of a sudden you get a green card like that. So
mm,
there are a lot of ways. Then yeah, I talked about other things as well, and I'm sure I missed one or two because no matter how much you think, there are so many ways it can be worked to your advantage. Uh,
mm,
you are employment authorized. Yeah, I think I got it. What are the cons? It's ultimately the decision of the government. We can't guarantee that you will win. I wish I could tell you that. Oh yeah, there's no way anybody can guarantee. And if somebody does, they're lying to you. Um, okay, if you get an NIW approved and you go to India or you go to France, wherever you are from, and you want to get a tourist visa, but you have a green card approved, they might say,
mm,
we are not going to give you a tourist visa. But normally they don't do that. Okay,
mm,
because there's
mm,
such a long-term accessibility to the green card. They usually let people come. Then, as also I talked about how it takes time. So that was pretty much it. So NIW is a good option. Look at it carefully, especially if your work has either now or what you are planning in the future will have national implications or non-local implications. That's the
But
main.
and the biggest advantage is like from the timeline perspective. other than all the advantages you've talked about is people who are going for normal employment based green card, they have to do LCA and
Yeah, you
then
don't have to
the
do all that. You don't do PERM.
all,
So
yeah,
basically, the moment we prepare your case or your lawyers prepare your case, they directly file Form I-140. They don't go through the PERM process.
yeah,
So you
and
never have to
and
advertise and
it's
all.
a very quick turnaround, right?
Well, it is. You can file it premium processing, and you know in a few weeks where you stand, even if there's an RFE. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's a to my mind, if let's say my brother or my family member or my friends were in this country, which a lot of you are, uh, because we talk to people so many times, you kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
I yesterday somebody was in our community conference and he sent me a message on LinkedIn. I said,
Hmm.
weren't you talking to me yesterday? He goes, yeah, I was. How do you remember? I said, well, because I have no life. I just remember everything.
That is true. That
So,
is true.
so if it was somebody close to me, I would tell them, keep an NIW. It's nice to have it.
Hmm. Hmm. But and so it's the work they are doing, not necessarily the
Yeah.
company they are working
No,
for.
that's the funny thing. It's not the work they are doing now. It's the work they are planning in the future.
Hmm.
So, for
Hmm.
example, if you have a great plan and you say, I have this idea for an invention, it's in the works, and I can't disclose the very interesting idea for one of our clients. They are still in the stealth mode, so I can't talk about what they're doing. But they have an interesting idea, which is very good for the environment. And I think it has a great market potential. Uh, they actually asked me if I wanted to invest. I said, no, I don't invest with clients. That's a conflict of interest. That's not
Hmm.
a good thing for any lawyer to do. Of course, you can do it under certain uh, considerations,
Yeah.
but beauty, how much money do you need, right?
Yeah, that's true. How
Us-
much? Yeah.
Ultimately,
Yeah.
you are dal bhat, I am dal bhat. So,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 But that's awesome. Cool. If there is any further questions, please let us know in the
yeah,
chat
yeah.
or
Let
we
me
will.
summarize. It's still
Yeah.
EB2, but it's free of any employers. It depends upon your plans. And if you have a plan which is just in the air, we still have to prove that that plan is going to come through. I mean, there are many other things we can talk about, little details, but these are the main things. So if you have a project in mind and there's a company or two who says, yeah, we'll work with you. We just filed an NIW for somebody who's an expert in transport or investments.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so they have the potential to bring in a lot of money into the US. So we are doing that.
Nice. Yeah, I like that it's so many industry like dance teacher, like they're
Yeah,
enhancing the
because it's
cultural
culture. Yeah,
diversity. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. It's culture. What if you're a language teacher? What if you're a kung fu fighter?
Hmm.
I don't know. I think I could try it. Why not?
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's a form of martial art. It's a form of meditation. It's a form of staying
Hmm.
fit. It's a way to be healthy, and it's a new way. It's not something. Well, nowadays there is a kung fu uh, dojo maybe every 3 blocks, at least in
Yeah,
Arlington.
yeah, yeah. That is, that is, yeah. Yeah.
Taekwondo, kung fu, qigong, tai chi, all over the place.
Jujutsu and all of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu too, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, Krav Maga, that's another one. Krav Maga,
What
is
is
that how
it?
the Israeli fighting form?
I have no
Krav
idea.
Maga, I think, yeah, that's how you say it.
Oh, okay.
Krav Maga, or maybe Krav Maga. Somebody will tell us, I'm sure.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Nice. Yeah. So if the more you, whenever you want to talk in the next steps, like you let me know, but we
Yeah,
can,
let me write out the next part about how you qualify for it, some of the nitty-gritty details. And the third one, I want to take specific examples.
okay. My dog just came in.
What's
But
his name?
Bruno.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
golden, right?
He is golden. Yeah.
Man, these guys are smart. They have like an IQ
Yeah.
of 200. It's embarrassing
Yeah.
sometimes.
They are. Yes. Yeah.
Border
All right.
collies and goldens, very very smart dogs.
Yes. And German Shepherd too. Like they are like
Yeah,
I
they are
have
all smart actually. Come to in their own way. Some are crooked
yeah.
and smart.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Morning, Yudi and Rajiv sir. Can I travel to Canada for 2 weeks using the automatic visa revalidation with my
Yeah, yeah. So, Syed Saab, if you have always maintain status, and you got your H1B with the I-94, you can travel with the I-94 for up to, I think it's less than 30 days, or maybe 30 days or less. 29
Hmm.
days for sure, 30th, I don't remember. I think it's 30 days or less.
Hmm. Okay. I have a is it no? I have a valid L1B visa expires in January 2025 with current employer and H1B petition approved in December 2023 with future employer. Plan to travel on L1B in March April. Will there be any issues in the port of entry and impact to my H1B petition?
Yeah, it will be an issue because if your H1B is approved with change of status, okay, and you are coming back, so you'll be back on L1. You'll have to either go get an H1B visa stamping done or apply for a change of status again. So I don't know what exactly your situation is. If that's not a problem, traveling is not an issue.
Hmm. Okay. My OPD started on December 12th, but I haven't uploaded my offer letter in Service Portal as I sent the card back for typographic correction. Ooh, that's what it's called, typo. That I always thought it's typos, but I didn't know the
Typo is typographic, right?
okay, didn't receive it. So my question being, can I upload the offer letter now? If I can, what is the start date that I need to provide?
I don't know. So, first of all, when you sent the card back, uh, Tarunji, you haven't told us what was the start date of your EAD. Okay. Um, if the start date of your EAD is still in future, um, you should be able to start working. You can actually call USCIS customer service and ask them this question. Write down the date and the time you called them and what they told you. So if you had applied for a replacement, you can start working with the receipt. No problem. Okay. But if you've sent the form for a typo correction, there is no particular law that I know of that governs this situation. So that's why
Hmm.
I'm asking you to just call the customer service, find out from them. If I knew what your start date is, we could have a little bit better idea. So if the start
Hmm.
date is already here, I don't think you can put down the start date because you can't fill out the form I-9. I guess if you had a copy of it, maybe you could use it. Depends upon the employer. Is it legal? Is it appropriate? Form I-9 requires I-9 is what the employer fills to start to employ you. It's an internal form, but it has to be filled out in a certain way. So that's why I'm saying just call the USCIS, note down what they tell you. If they say you can present a copy of your approval with the typo to the employer and start working, then there's no issue, right? And
Hmm.
if they say something else, come back and talk to us next week.
Nice. Okay. My wife is coming for Masters for of Public Administration in Jan 2025. Please help me to tell me the scope. Will it be any way to get green card, or shall I stay in faith of national interest waiver, or can I come later? Hmm.
So, Yadavji, problem with NIW is because it is EB2 category, it will take 5, 6, 7 years to get the green card. So it's not going to help you right away. It opens doors in the future, but it may not be helpful right now. Now, the question is if she comes for public admin, um, can she get a green card? Well, there are so many ways of getting a green card. It'll all depend upon the kind of job she gets. So, for example, if she gets a job with the federal government, which is unlikely because you can't, unless you are a NATO member citizen, you can't get a job unless you have a green card. Okay, so that may not be possible, but let's say she gets a job with a company that does a lot of work with the federal government. Maybe there's an NIW sitting right there. So
Hmm.
that's one of the possibilities. So it's a little difficult to answer this question. I'm not sure I
Hmm.
can give you an answer. Um, but there are so many different, all the other ways that people use to get their green card, including what is called PERM, PERM, like in the hair perm. Um, that program requires an employer to apply, place ads in the newspapers, and
Hmm.
so that process is open to everyone. So, what the answer to your question is about her green card possibilities, it will be tied to the kind of work she will do. The reason I said job is because most people will have some hookup with the job when they apply for the NIW.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Um, Before we go to the next one, so I was talking to someone yesterday. She came as an international student, got the green card, family based green card, then became the citizen, and then became the US diplomat. Is that possible? Like, I can become a US
The
diplomat?
only job you cannot get, UD, is the job of the President of the United States. I think you can even get a VP job. So
Oh,
you could
nice.
be
Yeah.
Mike
Yeah.
Pence of tomorrow. Okay.
Mm.
But your children will be able to. You have to be US born to run for the office of the president. But you
Mm.
could be a legislator, a senator, a member of House of Representatives,
Mm.
Secretary of Defense,
Yeah.
anything other than the president of the United States.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
require naturalization. That's how she became a diplomat because she got naturalized. Now she's as good as any other US citizen, except that she can't go for presidency.
Oh, and then the other thing which she mentioned is like because my real name is something else, Pritesh, and like my this name is Yudi. So she
What do you
said
mean
like
this name? Back up. Let's talk a little bit. What do you mean this name?
this name is like like everyone calls me Yudi, right? Like so that's my like uh show name. I don't know. Like I mean, I think at this point Pritesh is like not even relevant. Only when I'm in trouble. But she said when you are getting naturalized, that is the one time you get an option to change your name all for free.
No.
No?
Yeah, that is true, but I don't like that option. I would rather
Mm.
go through the court system. It's very easy.
Oh,
You don't need a
okay.
lawyer. Just call the
Mm.
local court. And this is for everyone who's here. If you want to change your name legally in the United States, very easy. Call the local court system and say, I want to do a name change. They'll tell you, here, download this form and send it to us. Judge will tell, there'll be local rules, whatever the local rules are. You place an ad in the newspaper, local newspaper. The judge will issue a decree and don't need a lawyer for most of these things. It will issue a decree which will have your old name and your new name. That's what I
Mm.
like because you
Mm.
can take that piece of paper and change your passport. You can take that piece of paper, change your social security number. You change because even though the judge does order a formal name of change of name during the naturalization process, I find the process of going through court system, local court system, is much easier.
Mm. Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm an Indian citizen, but born in Saudi Arabia, and I am pursuing my advanced degree in STEM. Am I eligible for EB2 National Interest Waiver?
So there's another part I wanted to cover. Yudi, do a Google search for uh, list of critical and emerging technologies.
Critical and emerging technologies. Okay.
It's on the
The
White
White
House.
House.
Yeah,
Okay.
click
One
on that
second.
list. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have actually mentioned that in our article, all the areas where you can. So just come to page one. Come down. Come to page one. Page two has the details, but page one tells you come down further. No, come down further. Down, 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 down. It should say page one. Down, down, down,
Oh, like it should say page one.
down. Yeah,
There?
that's the list. So that's just the basic list. When you go into, so all people who are working at advanced computing, that includes computer architecture, cloud, this and that, advanced engineering materials. I guess
Mm.
graphene would be one example. Advanced gas turbine engine technologies, advanced manufacturing, like additive manufacturing, clean manufacturing, advanced and network sensing and signature management, like ISAM and all those things, advanced
Mm.
nuclear energy, AI, this has all sorts of AI, robotics, biotechnologies, communications and networking technologies, directed energy, financial, fintech. So when you
Mm.
go further down,
Mm.
then
Mm.
describe each one. For example,
Mm.
you can see in advanced computing, they have supercomputing, edge computing, cloud computing, data
Oh,
storage, physical
interesting.
architecture,
Yeah.
data processing analysis.
But
So
but
when
what's
you
the list for? Yeah.
so when you are working in these technologies, he said he's doing a STEM course. That's where it
Yeah.
started.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I can
Oh.
argue, and I'm still waiting for the administration who should let us know what the significance of these is in EB1A and NIW cases, EB1B, EB1A, NIW cases. I'm
Hmm.
already arguing if you are working in these technologies, you are helping the US national interest anyway.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's where the STEM angle comes in. And there's
Hmm.
also, in general, we can argue that STEM is in the national interest, but you need a little bit more than that. So the
Hmm.
fintech is also interesting payment
Y-
technologies. Then they talk
Yeah,
about
that's.
distributed ledger, which is basically blockchain technologies.
I am in fintech world, but I don't need national interest waiver.
And now you don't. You just need
Yeah.
national. You need UD interest right now.
Yeah. All right. Is it a good option to apply for day one CPD if my H1B is not selected in the upcoming lottery, considering that this is my final attempt as an STEM OPT?
See, I get asked. Remember, we pretty much answer this question once every call
Yeah.
that we do. Okay.
Yeah.
My answer is still the same. It's in the books, it's legal, nothing wrong with it. Only thing I would recommend is make sure it enhances your career. Don't just be picking up random. Like if you have a degree in atomic physics, don't pick up art history. I may not be able to justify that if government wants to know more about what your choices are. And
Yeah.
also, it becomes a little difficult to travel and get a visa stamping. So if you're
Hmm.
okay with all those things, because we just don't know how the government behaves. They have a history of not liking this, but liking, disliking is not my problem. I'm not in this world to be huggy buggy with the USCIS. My job is to obey the laws. That's all we do.
Hmm.
So yes,
Nice.
PPT can be a good option. Make sure it enhances your career.
I'm on H1B. I've taken an FMLA. What is that?
Family
I've,
medical leave. Family Medical Leave Act. So what he means is a family medical leave.
oh,
Karthik,
okay.
you,
Got it.
you have to be paid on family medical leave. That's not an option. That's required by law. Your employer should be paying you.
Well,
So
that,
that's the
that
federal law.
answer.
Okay, and there might be state law issues on top of that also. The state law may require even more.
Yeah, I think California is required. But
No, no. So let's say that FMLA at the federal level, Federal Medical Leave Act says you can have up to 8 weeks. Then California law may says you can have 16 weeks. Okay.
mm, mm,
So
that's good to know. As I'm getting
and
into
if
entrepreneurship.
they try to chintz on that, they would be in a lot of trouble.
Hmm.
The employer can't chintz on that. They have to give
Uh,
the leave.
Digressing. So, I mean, you might not know the answer to this, but uh, so who helps with determining whether to go for S corp, C corp, LLC? If you are like
So
trying to build an entity.
in another lifetime, I used to, but I've stopped doing that because our focus is entirely on business and employment-based immigration, legal immigration, sort of thing. Okay. Um, so your CPAs can give some advice. Your chartered accountants,
Yeah.
business lawyers can give advice. Normally, and this is just generally not speaking about any particular state, having
Yeah.
some kind of a corporate shield in front of your personal self is important.
Yeah.
It could be an LLC, it could be a Chapter C, it could may or may not be Chapter S because Chapter S is for, I think you have to be a green card holder. So LLCs are okay, but you should know more about it. And one good source of information for everybody who wants to do business in the US is the Small Business Administration, US Small Business Administration. I believe the website is sba.gov. They have
Mm.
all sorts of interesting stuff, including how to create a business plan, the various forms of structure. Department of Commerce might have some information on that too. So, US
Mm.
Department of Commerce as well as sba.gov, these are great sites to go to.
Mm. Okay. Okay. All right. If got laid off at fourth year of
Yeah,
H1B, is 2 years sufficient to apply for green card for a new
two,
company?
2 years should be enough, but don't dawdle once you get back onto H1B. Make sure the green card is started even before you join or as soon as you join.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
he had another question,
Oops, sorry. Where is
something about F1.
If I want to switch to F1 and college are
Hmm.
not taking application depending on the time, or can I switch to B visa and then F1?
Yeah, I think so. But when I apply for B visa, see, the problem is you may not get a B visa. You might have to step outside to get F1 visa. So there's no guarantee that this process will work, but theoretically, at least you can.
Hmm. Hmm. And we already answered that, so that's good. Uh, where did I lost the thing? Okay, no, we answered that one too.
Saif Ali, Hollywood, Bollywood.
No, 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 he's the Saudi Arabia guy, I think.
Ah, EBIT. It's not. I
Uh,
was hoping it's Nawab Pataudi's
Saif
son.
Ali Khan. Yeah, no, no.
For
That would
EBIT
be
to
interesting.
NW, it has to be something unique. No, not really. Saif Saab. As long as it is in the US interest. So let me give you an example of an ordinary thing. I'm trying to think of something. I can try to conjure up an image of something that's possible. So let's say that this is actually an actual example of NIW we are doing. So let's say you are outside the US, okay, and you are working with a university in the US, and you're providing them some research from your home country on cardiac arrest, myocardial infarctions, heart attacks. So the case I make is this. I say you're a researcher, you are working with a US university. So your research is open to the whole world. It's not proprietary research. Okay.
Did
And we
I
are able to
lose you
show,
guys?
sorry.
Okay. No, 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 no. Sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
And we are able to show that myocardial infarction is still the number one cause of death in the United States. And on top of that, the university says, if you get your green card, we'll hire you. So there's interest in the United States. Your work is going to be in the interest of the United States. There is local interest in your work, and the impact is national. It's not local. So it's an ordinary thing in
Hmm.
some ways. It's just research, but the research is
Yeah.
good for us.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You
Yeah.
don't have to have. I don't know. You don't have to uh, invent cold fusion to get national interest waiver.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those of you who understand that. Okay.
Can I file for EB4 green card while working for H1B? And what's EB4? I know you.
EB4. Wait, are you talking about religious worker? Isn't that EB4? Yeah, I think so. Non-profitable organization. So, Mithun, if you are talking about religious worker R1 or religious worker based green card, the answer is yes. People do it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's one problem though. If I remember correctly, for a religious based green card, you'll have to go to R1 first because you have to have, I think, 2 years of immediate experience to qualify for the green card. So you can't do R1 and H1 at the same time. So there might be that little bit of a
Yeah. It's.
EB4 is, yeah, it's religious workers. You see that on top? He's not a
Yeah. Yeah.
juvenile. He's not a broadcaster. He's not an international organization NATO guy. Uh, Physicians, probably not.
Yeah. And
Criminal,
then.
have you been spying on mafia? I don't know. Adjustment of status.
Certain employee of the US government who are broadly and no.
Almost 100% is talking about religious workers.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Hmm. Okay. Let's move on to. I am on H1B, lost my job. When should I file for B2 visa? Should I file it online or offline, considering I'm on H1B?
So go to my blog on immigration.com, and fifth entry, I think, is how to apply for B1, B2. The only thing I haven't written there is that when you go to the drop down list, apply online. When you go to the drop down list, they say, what is your current status? And they don't have H1B, they have H1B1, which is stupid. But, that's how government is. Just select H1B, H1B1. It is the least wrong selection. And before you,
Hmm.
thousands of people have applied. It's fine. The reason I like online is because you have confirmation right away. the papers have been received by the USCIS. Now, if you are a family, more than one person applying, then it's cheaper to apply by mail.
Mm,
And when should you file it? 55th day if you're doing online, 50th day of your grace period if you're doing by mail. That's my
nice.
recommendation. It's not cast in stone.
Yeah. I got a job with a project of NI. Can I request employer to file NIW?
First of all, don't request the employer, do it yourself because then it belongs to you. Otherwise, there is some controversy whether you can, if the employer applies for you, um, can you
Then you
prove
can't
that you're
switch
still
the
going to
job.
work in that area? So, because if you got, for example, your NIW through Microsoft,
Hmm.
because you work on Teams and you work on the technology that um, basically protects the messages in transit. Okay. What if you change your jobs and went to Google? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the answer is if you can prove that you are working in the same technology.
Mm.
Okay. So
Mm.
now instead of encrypting messages for Team, you are doing it for Meet. I think you are okay.
Who
Okay.
uses that? But yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Google Meet is a far better software than by the way.
What?
Remember one thing, Microsoft was playing catch with Google. Google started in the cloud game 10 years before Microsoft. Okay. And Google's entire infrastructure was for the cloud.
Mm.
So plus I don't like Bill Gates.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Meet, yes, but like chat, like they don't.
Oh, the chat is
I,
awful.
I
I'll give you that.
yeah,
The
yeah,
chat used to be awful. It's getting better all the time. But as
yeah.
far as their Office suite is concerned, it's
Mm.
fantastic, very
Yeah,
robust.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but you know
And
what?
more collaborative. Yeah,
Ultimately, everything is going to come to the same point. So
yeah.
even Microsoft's offerings now, they are. I have every possible. I have Microsoft 365. We are a Google house. Um,
Mm.
but I can tell you they are all coming to the same place. The only thing is Microsoft technologies at some level can be idiot proof, but then at the same level, they can be also very difficult to customize. On the other hand, um, I find that Microsoft gives you so many features that you don't know where you are anymore. So
Yeah,
if you
yeah, yeah, yeah,
try opening
yeah,
Microsoft Word and try opening Google Docs, but the downside of Google Docs is then there are some important features missing. So there's
yeah.
nothing perfect in this world. That's why I pay for both.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's do a few more. My company is
I have to
prepared to
go in
apply.
4 minutes.
Yeah, so we'll try to do a couple more.
But I'll
Um,
give you full marks for trying today. I know you started trying to get us together early. So well done.
yes, yeah. My company is prepared to apply for an L1B for me next year. However, since this is my final attempt for H1B this year while I'm on STEM OPT, I would appreciate your suggestion on whether I should participate in this year's H1B poll or wait until next year's for the L1B
Oh,
application.
this is an easy one. You definitely should apply for H1B every year. Even when you get an L1B, keep applying for H1B. Because remember, L1B
Yeah.
cannot be extended beyond 5 years unless you move to L1A. And then also you get 7 years, whereas H1B with the green card combo can go on forever. L1 has no
Mm,
such option.
mm, mm.
Oh, 7 years? I hope
Um,
not. Have you been doing this 7 years? Maybe? No, a couple of years, right?
no,
You
no. Four years. 2019. Yeah, I mean,
लोकेश जी
since
इसकी
Trump.
शक्ल देखी होगी आपने मेरा I haven't been with him for 7 years. But
Yeah,
thank you anyway. It may
yeah,
seem like 7 years. It's like यार शुरू से देख रहे हैं लोग दुखी हो गए तुम्हारा शक्ल देख देख के.
yeah, yeah. But 4 years for sure because since Trump we've been talking. So
अच्छा I don't
and
remember. It feels like
yeah,
a couple of years, but I guess.
yeah. Um. All right. We talked about this. Can a perm applied for one software engineer be used for another software? No.
No, it used to be in 2005, I think the law was, or 2015, no, 2005,
Hmm.
that law
Okay.
changed. Ashmit?
I'm right now on my OPT first year, and my passport expires on May 2025. Okay. What should I do in the future? So, to renew my passport concerning my future H1B process and all my other visa stampings on current passport.
So, Ashmitji, you can renew your passport within USA. Check with the Indian consulate whether I think you can do it 1 year ahead of time, but I'm not sure. And they also have expedited process if you are getting nervous. So you have
I've
plenty of
done
time.
that.
You should be fine. You've done
Yeah.
expedited, right?
Yeah. 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 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and my passport was with me. Yep.
Yeah.
Will there be any complication if I exit or enter United States for India travel? Current employer Dropbox
Yeah. I
visa
don't know.
stamping appointment.
Uh, See, I'm okay with that if you come back and join the employer whose visa you are using. But if you tell the CBP, I'm going to go work for IBM, whose H1B you have, whose H1B visa you have, but you come into the US, never join IBM and apply for a transfer over to Microsoft. Okay. So you never joined the employer whose visa you used. But on the other hand, if you're outside USA, you have the IBM visa, Microsoft gets the H1B approved, sends it to you. You can
Mm.
enter using Microsoft's approval and IBM's visa, no problem.
Mm.
Or if you come back and join IBM at least for a few weeks, I think that's fine. I'm
Yeah.
very reluctant to advise people to do this because I feel there is a loophole here that the government could use to come after you.
Mm.
Okay?
We'll do one last. This seems
All right.
like a thing.
You can.
I've I've been H1B appointment
3%
on.
is no problem, man. Just send us 1.5%. We are okay with that.
So
Oh,
they don't
so,
need to.
Nikhilji, what you can do is read the frequently asked questions on DS 160. And I would advise you to just inform the 3% is not even something I want to talk about. If you had
Yeah.
gotten 30% raise, I would have said, well, even that's okay because it's not a major change in the sense the job is the same. But if there was a change in jobs, you might need an amendment. So this is 3% is okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll talk next week. Cool.
Take care.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Yep.
Bye.
Yes. Bye. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And if you are in India, I'm going to be in India. More details coming soon, but we'll see you soon. Bye.